In this video, we are going to talk about top 10 cheapest countries to travel in 2023, so before starting this video, please like this video, and subscribe to our channel for the future updates. Number 10. Thailand. Of course, I have to include Thailand, my home country. I used to really hate living in Thailand since it was the only place I knew, and I wanted to experience the developed world, as most people from developing countries do. However, after traveling the world for the last 8 years and living in other countries for months on end, I finally realized the true value of Thailand and why the country is so popular among travelers. I mean, how many countries out there can you go out and find a variety of delicious and fresh food straight from the street for less than $1.05? How many countries can you find amazing accommodation for less than $15 per night? From my experience, not a whole lot. Thailand is one of the cheapest countries to travel to, but that doesn't mean much if it isn't backed up with an abundance of beautiful tourist attractions travelers can visit. From the high mountains of northern Thailand to the beaches and islands of southern Thailand, there is plenty to explore. Number 9. Indonesia. Mount Bromo and Mount Senaru spewing ashes at sunrise. Indonesia, the largest archipelagic state in the world consisting of over 17,000 islands, is one of the most diverse countries in Southeast Asia. With so many islands, full of remote forests and volcanoes, each with different cultures and languages, Indonesia is one of the best countries to visit in the world. The cruise will go through the Komodo National Park and will drop you off at Labuan Bajo in Flores. From hiking Mount Rinjani to swimming with manta rays around the Komodo Islands, there are countless things you can do here. Java, the main island of Indonesia, is home to some stunning temples like Borobudur and Prambanan, and it is still considerably cheap to visit. Number 8. Vietnam. Scooter is one of the great way to travel around Vietnam. Vietnam is another great and cheap travel destination in Southeast Asia that offers a unique experience and an abundance of things to do without breaking the bank. Like most countries in Southeast Asia, Vietnam is nothing like its neighbors, and it is worthy of a place to visit in and of itself. The beautiful lanterns all over Hoi An ancient town at night. The diversity of sceneries and cultures, emboldened by its rich history and dark past, are some of the main draws for travelers to visit Vietnam. From the dreamy landscape of Halong Bay to the mighty Mekong Delta, there is no shortage of things to do here. The food in Vietnam is also one of the best in the region, and it is dirt cheap. For famous menus like pho, chow lao, and banh mi, it should cost you around $1.05 per dish. Combine that with the cheap accommodation, the well-rounded tourist infrastructure, and the diverse landscapes, and you have yourself one of the cheapest countries in the world that you should definitely not miss when you are traveling in Southeast Asia. Number 7. Colombia. Colombia is the first place I visited when I first went backpacking through South America in 2016. I spent more than 2 weeks in both Bogotá and Medellín, the two main tourist cities in Colombia, embedding myself into the city life and living like a local for a good amount of time, thanks to all my local friends there who allowed me to see just how cheap and amazing these two cities really are. From the outside, Colombia might not seem as cheap of a country to visit, but if you look deeper and spend some more time here, you will find that the food, accommodations, and things to do in Colombia are actually very affordable and sometimes cheaper than most places. Number 6. Peru. A person standing in front of Machu Picchu in Peru. If I have to pick my favorite country in South America, it has got to be Peru. With all the amazing things you can do in Peru, from visiting the famous wonder of the world, Machu Picchu, to hiking around the Andes Mountains in Huaraz and Cusco, you can easily see why I chose Peru as my favorite country. When it comes to tourist attractions, Peru is definitely one of the best countries in the world. It has a rich Mayan history, the stunning Andes mountain range that offers an infinite number of adventures one can embark on, and hands down the best cuisine in South America. With the food costing around $2.05 per meal and accommodation costing as low as $7 per night, you can travel around Peru for as little as $15 per day. Combine that with the low cost of living, and you have yourself one of the cheapest and best countries for you to visit. Number 5. Albania. A church in the middle of a plain in Thate, Albania. Albania is a country full of surprises. It is a place where you will find stunning mountains like the Albanian Alps, rich history like the towns of Berat and Gjirokastër, and beautiful beaches like those in the Albanian Riviera. With so much to offer, you'd think that tourists would flock to this paradise, but I am happy to report that is not the case. Albania is still one of the few hidden gems in Europe that is both beautiful and affordable to travel in. With the food costing around $5 per meal and accommodation costing as low as $9 per night, Albania is one of the cheapest and most beautiful countries to visit in Europe. If you are looking for a cheap place to travel in Europe that has everything at half the price, this is the place to be. Number 4. Sri Lanka. On your first day, hire a driver or a tuk-tuk to take you to Sigiriya in the early morning to beat the crowd and hike the rock to the top. Sri Lanka is another great country to visit for those of you who are looking to travel to exotic places on a budget. I was there exploring Sri Lanka for 2 weeks and I managed to only spend around $30 per day, yet I got to see everything I wanted to see there. Sri Lanka is full of interesting tourist attractions and things to do. It has a rich and fascinating history deeply rooted in Buddhism, and there are several amazing sites, such as the ancient city of Polonnaruwa, the Temple of the Tooth in Kandy, and the most famous of all, the Lion Rock of Sigiriya, waiting for you to explore. Number 3. Turkey. The interior of Hagia Sophia in Istanbul, Turkey. Turkey is usually not a country you often see listed on a cheapest countries to visit list like this, and I am not sure why that is the case. From my experience traveling from west to east, Turkey is probably one of the cheapest countries to visit in the Middle East that also offers so many awesome things to do and so many beautiful places to see. From the perspective of most travelers who have only visited touristy places like Istanbul and Cappadocia, Turkey may not seem like a cheap place to travel to. However, if you decide to go off the well-trodden paths and visit places like Fethi, Van, and Kars, you will be surprised at how cheap the country actually is. As you can see, Turkey is not as expensive as people make it out to be. You can travel far and wide without spending very much, and with so many things to do in the country, you are definitely going to get your money's worth here. Number 2. Georgia. The Gjergiti Trinity Church on a cloudy day in Kazbegi, Georgia. Georgia is one of my favorite countries in the Caucasus, and it is one of the cheapest countries to visit in the region. Traveling in Georgia, to my surprise, was even cheaper than traveling in Turkey, and there are quite a lot of things you can do that you can't do anywhere else in the region. For one, Georgia has one of the best cuisines in the world, with dishes like khachapuri and khinkali spreading across big cities in Europe and beyond. When it comes to tourist attractions, Georgia is also home to the hipster city of Tbilisi, which is becoming more and more popular among backpackers, and there is no shortage of cozy cafes and bars with great vibes for you to explore. Number 1. Nepal. A person celebrating at the top of Kala Padhar on the Everest Base Camp Trail in Nepal. Last but not least is Nepal, a small country nestled between the mighty Himalayan mountain range in South Asia that offers a ton of opportunities for nature lovers and hikers to explore the highest mountain range in the world on foot for cheap. The top of Mount Everest is seen from Kala Padhar along the Everest Base Camp Trek in Nepal. No, I'm not talking about hiking to the top of Everest. That is a rich people activity, and you would need at least $11,000 just to get the permit to climb the deadly mountain at the roof of the world. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go. Thanks for watching.